All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much once again for joining us on the Armchair, episode 4. Right, we've got a big show today. But before that, I want to introduce my partners in crime. Uh, so, Avinesh is back. Hi, Avi.
Hi, how are you, Logan? All good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. And pretty in pink, frozen in pink. I'm not sure. I think unfortunately, Benny's picked the worst possible time to go offline again. Yeah. Never mind. He'll be back. Don't worry. Okay, guys, you know lah. Sometimes internet. This is the joys of live TV lah. Okay, or live internet, whatever this is. Okay, so I'm just gonna remove Benny for a while. He'll be back once his internet is better. Okay, but don't worry. The show will still be as good or even better than normal because this time, instead of having one guest, we've got two. Okay. It's very, very exciting. That's why I'm wearing formal today. You know? It's a special week.
I'm a bit for today, I guess.
It's all right. So, look, man, I mean, no, it was a big week in football because, Man United scored from a corner, Harry Maguire scored, and also we've had some developments in Malaysian football. Okay, let's just put it that way. We're all going to get into that. Benny is back. Hi, Benny.
Yeah, hi,
Still
bro.
no.
Can I get you?
Okay.
Yes, okay.
No, I don't know. Okay, he's back. All right, fantastic. Sorry, lah. Okay. So we wasted 2 minutes while our guests are waiting. So sorry, guys, but it's time to introduce them. Yeah, we are excited to welcome. I think I will put it this way: two heroes of grassroots football. So these guys are from the football activist site Padang Bola Sepak. Okay. According to their website, I'm going to read straight from there, guys. But if you guys, have any extra things to add on later, please do. Padang Bola Sepak was established to provide non-BM speaking audiences with an outlet to discuss Malaysian football. It sounds a bit like our show because we copied them. Let's be honest, we just copied them. So they've been some of our... Yeah. So, they've been some of our biggest supporters throughout the short journey. Welcome, Carl. Welcome, Azri. Thank you, guys.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
It's fantastic. We've wanted to do this for a very, very long time. So this episode is going to focus on, the work that Padang Bola does because it's legit one of the most underappreciated aspects of Malaysian football. But it's so important. It's so important what they do. How social football helps, how grassroots football helps, and we're also going to be discussing a bit more about Malaysian football and the state of Malaysian football, especially after yesterday's result.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Lots to talk about after yesterday's results. Even I'm lost for words at the moment.
Lost for words, yeah. I tell you, Benny's lost for words again.
Look at his smile.
I know.
Excellent.
I swear to God, that's gonna be my wallpaper.
Quick, hurry, take a screenshot.
I know, right? Okay, never mind. While Benny recovers his internet, we'll continue for a while. Okay, guys, tell us about Padang Bola Sepak. What do you guys do? What's it all about? And just feel free to jump in anytime.
Okay, I'll just start first, then Azri will jump in on the year that he joined us lah. So Padang Bola Sepak started out in 2012 actually. I started a blog spot with a friend of mine, high school friend of mine. Then just started blogging here and there. Then 2010 he macam malas nak blog, and then I was like, okay, I continued on. Then 2014 after the World Cup, after listening to because I'm an Arsenal fan, so to any Arsenal fans out there who have heard about Ars blog, I take a lot of inspiration from them. So I decided to do a podcast first, Padang Bola Sepak podcast. So it started out as a podcast, then slowly it integrated, become a live tweet punya account. And the reason why we do it in English is because there was so many accounts who was doing it in bahasa. Hariman Malaya, back then was Bola, and quite a lot of people lah. Then tiba-tiba, it became our thing lah. We became who we are in 2014, 2016. Then 2016, a lot of things changed. We ventured into, back then it was community football, because again, this is very fluid. Grassroots football is very fluid. At one point, you call it amateur football. At one point, you call it community. At one point, you call it social. No one really has a proper definition about it, because we don't really have the proper definition from our football authorities about what's happening dekat bawah ni lah kan. And then Azri joined us in 2017. Before I continue on, I would like to give a space to Azri to share how did he join us in 2017 onwards.
So 2017. I think it was maybe after the SEA Games. I took notice of PBS. I remember our resident. During the SEA Games, I remember our resident KL fan, Encik Nizam. I think he went with you, Carl, when during the SEA Games football matches. I think tweeted about that, and then and that's when I took notice of PBS. So I think that's when I started following PBS around that time, and then about a few months after the SEA Games, I think it was then when I decided to join them one of the futsal sessions, and that's how I met Carl first. And then the PBS website launched. When was that, Carl? When it was first launched?
In the World Cup the year 2018, February, March.
And that's when I started to write my first article. I think it was one of Malaysia's friendly matches I've got. Which one? I think it was against Mongolia. I think it was Mongolia, or was it the 7-0 against Bhutan? Anyway, it was either one of those matches, and it just took off from there. I kept writing matches because I feel like we need more content about English content to be said about our what's going on in our local football.
So as you mentioned futsal, he joined us in our futsal mid session. So that's a turning point for Padang Bola Sepak. So what happened was in 2016, I got a phone call from Khairil Anwar, who is the owner of the Klang Valley League. So he told me that there was this thing called Selangor Champions League, was organized by the NGO of His Royal Highness Tuanku Raja Muda Selangor, Tengku Amir Shah. So they built Selangor Champions League, so which is a combination of all the social leagues, the community leagues, the amateur leagues, semua to coming together, and they decided to create a Selangor Champions League to celebrate football lah, basically. So it started at New Camp Bandar Utama. Then the finals was held at Stadium MPSJ, Subanjaya in November. So around that time too, I was really inspired. Volunteering lah. We mostly volunteered, so we did panditry. We watched the game and we gave a pandit about the game. Me, Izaham, and Henry, our friends lah. We absorbed them into PBS near to later on. So we just did some panditry work, tactical work, interviews, and we did commentary. Me and Henry commented the finals. It was really bad. We did a really bad job in the finals. But that's a really interesting story to add on what we did what we are doing now with the Football Association of Selangor. So when we saw a lot of togetherness and it was a full house on that, I would say it was 80% full house on that night. Nice. For a final between two teams, one from TDI and the other one is from Hatamas.
It was Terrapins and Rebels, I think. Terrapins versus
correct.
Rebels.
So they won. So Terrapins won 1-0. 2-1. So at that, we got really excited, and then we see a lot of people coming together. And growing up, my mother actually is a social science professor. So I've read a lot of books on social science and anthropology and how people get together. Usually people get together through food, sports, intellectual discussion, semua tu. So I was like, okay, I already have a platform. I already had 10,000 followers on Twitter around that time in late 2016. So I decided, okay, why not just create a futsal session? It was overwhelming. We had 30 people coming on that. We had 30 people messaging. In the end, we had 22 coming. Obviously, people can guess the last minute kan. So we wanted to do once a month. Then steadily we increased to twice a month. Then we did almost every week. We grew so it was from December 2016. Then August, right after the SEA Games in August 2017, we started our football program. So we had 40 people. Then we slowly increased, and then we realized after talking to so many people that people don't really want to play in the social leagues, because social league they jadi too competitive because our really bad football pyramid ecosystem. The people who really want to play in the Liga Super semua tu, they don't have other places to go, so they use that pent up energy to play in the social leagues. So for the people who just want to play for fun, gelak-gelak apa semua tu, they don't really have that outlet. So over time we created a thing called Liga Gila, so everyone can join. Tak kisah, anyone can join. We had Olympic para-athlete playing with us, men, women, orang pakai baju 5XL pun boleh, and kaki bangku, we don't really care. We just want you to come and enjoy. And obviously it was a work in progress. There was a lot of hiccups going on, and nothing worth doing has mistakes, you know. So there was a lot of mistakes going on, but we learned from mistakes. We learned how to bring people together lah. And we had this thing called no tackle rule. And then after that, we decided to macam, okay, why don't we call it recreational football? Because social football has a lot of macam stigma lah for some people. So we re-symbolize it, call it recreational football. So Azri really helped out. So I think Azri has a few stories from the Liga Gila days and recreational football. So I would like to
I mean at first I didn't join in at first. I just was there for more support, and then after that just more and more sessions I came, and I decided to volunteer as one of the coaches lah. Just trying to coaches lah, and as instructed by Carl, I just told everyone, make sure you just have fun, make sure everyone gets involved, and remember, no tackles, you're all here for fun and whatnot. And so it was quite a relaxing atmosphere. It just that also brings a sense of togetherness. You know, it doesn't matter what background you're from, who you are. Just play for fun and whatnot.
Mm-mm. So itulah, you guys have any questions on that front before we go even further?
I think we have some questions.
Yeah.
Guys, okay. About the recreational.
Oh dear.
Will there be a winning trophy or something like that, or just for a game, just for a fun?
Just for fun.
Trophy.
Yeah.
No, because
is there any prize money for the tournaments that you guys
are? No.
No.
Usually, no, because usually the prize money and trophies are is all of the social leagues and the community leagues. But for us, the participation, I think the value that people like is actually we provide photographers. So we provide photographers. So they like to have their, action shot kan, scoring goal ke, dapat goal, tonjol. So we try to give more we give a different kind of value, which is photographs, videos. Mobile does incredible with the videos. And what else? At the last session, we always bagi makan-makan. Like we always try to get Domino's to come and belanja semua orang lah, because it's a fun thing. And I think the great value that I've gotten feedback is actually semua orang dapat balik injury free, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So that is the bigger prize than prize money.
Yeah, that's the purpose. That's the purpose of recreational football, just to play for fun, relax, without any worry of the sense of competitiveness. I mean, we introduce like a trophy and prize money and whatnot, I think kind of defeats the purpose and whatnot, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. How was the response, bro? How was the response? I mean, how many guys do you actually get when you organize these kind of things?
Dia macam ni, depending of how many people the response. Obviously, the people yang power, they I would say out of 10 people, orang yang power, I would say 4 complain because they want to be power. They want to show that they're power.
Yeah, but not the right platform, unfortunately. Not the right platform to showcase your talents.
It's more of like, we're trying to give people a fun Monday night because people just balik kerja apa semua tu, and it's not only for men, women, kaki bangku, everyone. I mean, tak kisah. You can ask the 200 plus people inside various WhatsApp groups or about our work and so on and so forth. But lately, because of the pandemic, semua tu kita macam ni sikit lah. But back to the history lesson lah. in terms of the response, we do have complaints like kata we don't want to no tackle rules semua tu. And then I encourage lah macam like if you don't want us to do no tackle rule, why don't you do your own program and we just support lah. Because it shouldn't be only us doing programs. It should be other communities doing programs juga. You know, there's Bobai. We got inspired by Bobai to do this. You know, and then the women's social football, I did their own program. There's another community called TK Chronic. There's another community Bola Bosan. There's Brand New Wave, Galchester United, Heaven Boys. You know, all these people are doing their own programs for their own community and demographics. Because again, everyone has different needs and caters. You know, some people want certain needs from different communities semua tu. Bukan nak kata I punya community is like macam our community is like exclusive sangat. No, it's like macam if you feel that this is a community that you want to be a part of, you know, you're feel free to come and go, no problem. And one of the best reviews I've gotten that we've gotten on social media and also people emailing us and texting me semua tu, they feel that our program is a rehab center for the soul. So they come, they play, they relax for a few games semua tu, then they go back to the social leagues, they go back to the amateur scene, you know, because they just want to.
That's good.
They just want to recalibrate. I don't know if you guys seen Ted Lasso, but there was like one episode. Yes, there was one episode where Roy tried to reinvigorate back Isaac. So it's something like that. Yeah, I see. So if you remember season 2, the mid-season, one of the episodes.
Yes, mid-season. Yep.
Yes,
I remember.
So So this is what we are trying to do for recreational football, and obviously we want to expand more to recreational sports. We want to do many other things, baseball, ultimate frisbee. One of our members, Shahbani, part of our committee now is the Malaysian Association for Flag Football president. So we encourage people to like people come and go. That's the thing inside our community. But before they go, we encourage them to create. I don't know if you guys watch any Kevin Smith movies, like James Silent Bob Strikes Back or whatever.
Oh,
but
yes.
So he clerks and all. So he said that there's two paths in life, a path of creation and a path of destruction. In the path of creation, you just keep on creating and encouraging people to do more and more and more. So that's why PBS, we encourage, you guys, the Bola Bola show, Tifo Arena, and all these people. I'm Farhan Roslan, who just started an account. Just keep on creating, just creating for the sake of it makes you feel good, and at the same time, you're connecting with other people juga. There's really one question on segment 2 is something that's very interesting, and I would it's a link to that answer lah. So and Azri's role has been very interesting juga, because there was a few, because during our Liga Gila days we use it themes. So the first season we use it as we did a throwback to Mighty Ducks, Tune Squad, Remember the Titans. Then the following season we did Backstreet Boys, Westlife, and NSYNC. So I actually brought his speaker.
Your speaker. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So we played all the NSYNC, Westlife, and Backstreet Boys. So while we were playing lah, so try to create an atmosphere.
While you guys are playing, wow.
Yeah. Because like that, our policy is 3 teams, because we want to keep the value at a certain range, because we realize.
Also get more people to get involved into the programs. Trying to accommodate more.
And to highlight what on Azri's point, people bring their wives and their husbands to watch the games, and then the wives and husband pun aku pun nak join juga. So that's how we get even more people. And and also they also bring their kids juga, and we encourage the kids to play with us. So we had a father and a son playing together. Husband and wife playing together, and so on and so forth. So I'm going on and on and on. There's a lot of amazing things that's happened on our recreational football site. There's a lot of amazing things, but we haven't gone into the grassroots near benda that we're doing with FA Selangor yet. So that one too, we'll leave it to you guys later lah.
Yeah.
What you guys are doing are really amazing, actually. Pretty much amazing. Okay, what actually inspired you guys to come up with this?
I think for like I think Azri can help answer this lah. Macam Azri, would you like to give this an answer, Petro?
Sorry, Benny, can you repeat the question? I apologize, didn't get the first part.
What did actually inspired you guys to come up with Padang Bola?
Oh, it's just that the love for the game, you know, just love the football and want to like give back to, want to get that people to fall in love with football again, considering the state, considering the current state right now. So I will save that for later. So yeah, it's just that love. It's just that love for the game that just kept on going and going, kept on going. That's what drives us in the. That's what drives us to keep doing this. Yeah. So just to summarize that.
Just to add on Azri punya part, the common thread of all the people, most of the people who join our program, the stories that we getting is that usually they get being picked last in the taman.
Like me.
Me. Yeah.
You know, so when an opportunity to play comes, you know, they want it. And the data that we have from a lot of people who come in and play with us and they chatted with us, the only outlet of you playing football is through your colleagues, your alumni classmate, your work colleagues, and a family member. And usually when
old school friends as well?
Alumni. So these four. And usually when they ajak, they always tell, hey, you have to main betul lah. If not, you won't get invited again.
Yeah.
So we need to create a fifth, sixth alternative. You know, so macam we need to create an alternative to all these other avenues to play football lah, recreationally. So that's again, also recreationally pun macam has a bit more of a peaceful tone compared to social lah, basically. I mean, like again, it all falls under the grassroots category, which is elaborated by the FAM grassroots football department and also AFC. So we are following the standard pyramid lah. So grassroots football and the FC definition and also FM definition is non-professional football.
Yeah, not impression, not indeed. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So what work actually you guys do as a community partner and media partner?
Okay.
I mean, you know that you guys are collaborating with the FAs and everything, right? Leagues and so on. What do you guys actually do?
Okay, so to answer the question, basically community partner, we community partner with so many people like Super Bobai, even we collab with Tifo Arena when they were still around, FA Selangor and so many other communities again. So what we usually do is that we look at ourselves and we look at them and we speak. Okay, what kind of resources can we jive? You know, because we have a big Twitter following, so they may need the Twitter presence, the retweets, the impression, the engagement, and so on and so forth. The live tweets. Macam Azri did a fantastic job in 2017 and 18 and 19 using PBS platform to live tweet. So Azri, you want to share a bit more about that element and the fantasy football?
Yeah. Normally I go to games, Super League, Premier League, and you know all the FA Cup, Malaysia Cup matches, and I actually pay the tickets from my own wallet, just because again it comes from the love of the game right here. And I want to show everyone that there is a platform that we can follow live updates, you know, on these games. You know, see what's happened, whatnot. And I try my best to like spice up the tweets and whatnot, trying to be funny, trying to be creative, or not. Whether it came off well, that's a different story. I'll let the readers decide on that one. So yeah, I just want to spread the word, or the trying to spread the good word of Malaysian football. So but of course with the pandemic, I'm a bit hesitant to get back to the stadium and whatnot. I still have a bit worried, but of course the love for the game is still there lah.
But to answer Benny's question about our role as community partners, again, look at the resources lah. Macam we have a huge following on Twitter, so usually a lot of people want to partner with us because they want that impressions. Because usually our one tweet we can get about between 50 to 100,000 impressions. Because of our following and the retweets and the mechanism lah apa semua tu. So that's one element. Another element is our skill sets. Because Azri is very good in terms of details of writing and capturing really good data and give me analysis. And like for me, I actually used to work. I used to wanted to be a theatre major. So I actually used to work dekat KL Tech and Active Studios at Lot 10, and I have all this theatre experience. And what happened is that in 2018, I noticed the commentators community in Selangor Champions League macam they were a bit macam they were there, but macam a bit disorganized. So I told FA Selangor, why don't 2019 I take over, become the head of talent lah basically. Macam let me just organize this talent, because I've dealt with actors before, I've dealt with talents before, so it shouldn't be much difference lah kan. So I trained the commentators. Back then Stan and Stanley Bernard and Des were with MFL Productions, so we asked them to come and train give a workshop for the commentators. Yep. You know, two of the commentators from the Selangor Champions League is already part of Astro, so it's about giving Aiman and Azwa. So it's about giving a platform for all these people who have so much talent. So that's why I always mention for grassroots football, we cannot only concentrate the talents on the pitch, but we should also concentrate talents off the pitch juga. You know, there's brilliant people off the pitch yang hasn't got the opportunity to go mainstream and so on and so forth. They could be like reporters like Azri, R&D, researchers like Azri, you know, Azwa, Aiman, you know, so many people out there who just wants an opportunity. So so those are the kind of things that us as a community partner and media partner come in. We look at our talents and we look at what they need. So we try to synergize. So one thing that Dr. Joe, when he was the Secgen of FAS, his favorite word is always synergy. So memang betul lah, is how do we have all these resources and how we synergize between everyone. Like how PBS internally works as a team. Like Azri has his strengths, I have my weakness, but my weakness is actually Azri's strength. You know, and then it goes back and forth lah, between all of our community lah. Like Anaf is great at so many things, but he needs help here. I'm good at something, I'm bad at most things, you know, so Anaf compliments there, you know, and banyak benda lah. So it's very fluid and dynamic benda lah. And I've been blabbing on a lot about it.
But in a way, it's like trying to coach a football team, you know, trying to find that strengths and weakness of each player and trying to place them which position they're in and whatnot. So that's how basically the structure of PBS works.
So why do you guys want to do it in English? Why not in Malay?
Can I answer this, Carl? Can I answer this, Carl?
Go.
For starters, I'm actually more comfortable. Okay, this is going to be a tech controversy because considering, you know, our national language and whatnot, but I'm actually better writing English than in Malay. I'm more comfortable with that. I think, because I'm brought up. I've been brought up watching English shows, English kids shows, whatnot, and just somehow stuck. And of course, my mom is like, it's like English lecturer just to talk lecturing English and just talk about all that. So yeah, but of course, that doesn't mean that I stopped speaking Malay. No, of course, that's our national language and whatnot. So of course, but again, it's just that sense of comfort and whatnot. And and not only that, in PS, it's not that it's only English. It's just that we also invite writers to write in whatever language they have. You know, remember I forgot what's the name. What's that hashtag campaign, Carl, when you
Matilah.
No, Karangan Bola Sepak.
Karangan Bola Sepak.
Yeah. Because they have a lot of writers coming in, send their articles, short articles, whatnot, detailing the stories about the game, whatnot. I think Raja Gopal had actually once wrote an article, right, Carl?
Yeah. He wrote a passage. I think it was also to promote the book juga. His long-awaited book that he did reveal on the social media. Hopefully, we can read this one day. But to answer the question why English specifically, again, there's a lot of other platforms doing it in Malay. So why not just fill the void? You know, if I was a Mandarin speaker or even a Tamil speaker, I would do the same thing.
And not only that, I also want to invite outside, you know, international people who wants to who has an interest in Asian football, you know, trying to read our articles and make sense of what's going on in Malaysia and whatnot. You know, so that's another reason why I wrote in English.
All right. Okay, guys. What actually attracted you guys to do social football, and why is it essential to promote this social football?
Dia
Hmm.
to summarize, it's just a community. It's the unique personalities of people that we meet and the opportunities that we're given. For example, with Bobai, I'm technically the unofficial photographer for the games. So I go for the league games semua tu, I take gambar semua tu, and it's really relaxing lah. Macam like that's another story lah. But to fully answer, there's a lot of unique opportunities there's a lot of unique opportunities that tiba-tiba macam tak tahu ada. Tiba-tiba dapat call to like, we need you to become linesman. Or friendly macam, boleh ke? Unique, yeah. Not becoming referees, but jadi kitman, tolong diorang with the jerseys, design, photographers, videographer, banyak benda lah. So there's a lot of love and creativity in the social football, the grassroots football punya benda. It's just like how do we, again lah, going back to the word synergy and grow from it.
Yeah, and just to answer my own, what first attracted me to do social football and gravitate towards grassroots? One answer is Carl. That's just one word answer. And and secondly, why is it essential to promote social football? Well, I feel like sports has that power to bring people together. I seen the games. I seen when Chong Wei was in the badminton Olympics final, whatnot. It brings every people together. It doesn't matter what background you're from. It doesn't matter who you support. It doesn't matter who you support in other sports. It doesn't matter what race, etc., and whatnot. Yeah.
There's a funny story. I'm willing to say on record lah, because I've said this off record quite a number of times. So there was this women's league in NPNG that started in 2017 called Riders Women's League, organized by Mr. Shazri, who organized it just because they nak provide opportunities and so on and so forth lah. So I come help tengok Bobai main apa semua tu, this and that kan. And then it really throws me back to high school. Reason being is that kan during high school kan, it's like class A versus class B, class A, class B, class A, class B kan. So it has that vibe. So I think I kind of like enjoy the class science versus class economy punya type of vibe lah kan. So I really enjoy that. And then like as I grew and as I kept on going macam how can the women punya community grow apa semua tu. And then someone came lah, a few of the women manager came and asked me like, why do you keep coming? Bobai is not playing apa semua tu. I said, I just want to support apa semua tu. And then like and then obviously some people are like, kau mesti nak pick up awet apa semua tu. No, legitimately I just see a lot of potential to grow the game. And then I cakap lah, trust me when I'm say this, after you guys dah macam maybe retire ke or whatever, or quit playing on the pitch tu kan, all of you who berperang atas padang will come together to fight for women's football luar padang. Trust me on it lah, because I've seen it happen via a few friends overseas, because it has happened. I've seen it through a friend of mine in in the community south of England. They perang, and then luar padang they came together to fight, to get sponsorship, to get rights betul apa semua tu lah. So slowly I've actually seen things happen, those kind of scientists coming into fruition, because people are coming together. People want to grow the game, not only for women's football, but even for people who are overweight and they want their own liga juga.
Yeah. And ultimately, at the end of the day, football is for everyone. Why are we stopping people, playing football? What's the point? What's the point? Because everyone has that right to play football. It doesn't matter where you are.
Even people with mental health issues, depression, anxiety semua tu, I've always wanted to like a free games for but again funding apa semua lah. So macam it's all about giving opportunities lah to many people and to grow from that. Sorry for becoming philosophical pula.
No,
it's
I'm just
fine.
sharing your thoughts. I mean, it's amazing
Yeah.
what you guys are doing.
It's not philosophical, it's inspirational.
Inspirational,
That's
exactly.
Put that on that inspiration quote. All right.
Hey guys, do tell us the struggles and how it feels you guys to where you're right now. I mean, we know it's not easy to organize this kind of
Yeah.
social
I mean,
football. Right?
it made me more appreciative of the role that the non elite football has given, because without them, without the without the grassroots, the social leagues, I mean, like, we might not see people that we football players that we know as in Impact England. I mean, how do you say? Sorry, just a bit. What's that word? Oh dear, I'm drawing a blank. It's been a long day. Yeah, so it's just that it just made me more appreciative, because without them, we might not see elite football. That's just it. Yeah. That's how I want to sum it up.
So the David versus Goliath stories lah. Those are
Yeah.
the kind of things that we really get inspired by. Moneyball is one of the inspiration. The book and the movie is one of the inspirations why I'm doing this juga, because you can with proper strategy and thinking outside the box how to solve problems. It's kind of the things that I really love. But in terms of the struggles, the thing about the struggles is that people want a overnight result and success. And we've always explained for people who want to be a part of our community, part of the committee, not the community, the committee, in terms of operations and big picture ideas, too. We always explain that it's not an overnight thing. It's a 5-year thing. It's a 10-year thing.
And don't forget the emphasis on short-term goals as well.
So we do emphasize on okay, there's a short-term goal, there's a medium-term goal, and there's a long-term goal. So short-term is to make sure the community is still intact. We have consistent programs, apa semua tu. Medium-term goal, okay, how do we expand beyond our current region? The long-term goal, how do we create policy changes? How do we work together with people like FAS, like women in football organization, women social football, Bobai. How do we create policy change for sports, apa semua tu? So there's always has to be those targets lah. And the struggles, those are kind of the struggles to have people who have that stamina. Macam Wenger always said, tenacity and stamina is very important. So you gotta have that. And another problem inside this work is that we need to emphasize that it's not a popularity contest. No. It's a responsibility. It's a responsibility punya approach. So I've always noticed something that I've realized this a few months ago lah. People who values responsibility over popularity will go far, because it's all about carrying out the responsibility of doing the work that not many people sees a lot of glamour in it.
Yeah.
So continue.
When if the going gets tough, if they're only going to do it for popularity and the glory and whatnot, when the going gets tough, high chance they're going to get out and take their ball home. So so that's why we need responsible people like Carl and others to carry that torch for future generations to come.
Guys, so I just want to ask one kind of, you've covered this to a large extent already, but maybe like one kind of final overarching question on grassroots football. So what's the biggest problem with grassroots football, and what's the most hopeful thing about grassroots football?
For me, the biggest problem with grassroots football is that not enough attention is given to it. Let's imagine that the football ecosystem is like a tree, and the grassroots is the roots itself lah. If you're focusing too much on the fruits and the leaves, and leaves, that means that you're highly likely gonna ignore the roots. And if the roots die, the whole tree dies. You get what I'm saying? So we need to place more attention to how we grow grassroots football, how we nurture them, how to further improve it further, and then we can celebrate the bountiness from those trees.
Azri spot on in terms of the attention part. The problem with grassroots football has always been we don't have much coverage on it. That's one. Another one, I think, just like I've written here actually. Is the administrative thing you got lah, because we don't have enough grassroots administrative talents to synergize and bring people together, and it's not really a lucrative and sexy job lah basically. So how do we make it more macam like attractive to macam for people to become administrators in grassroots football, and from there things will start slowly build lah, macam more sponsors, investors, more attention towards it lah. So we just need more honest, good to honest administrators that are already on the ground. It's just that they don't have the opportunity to showcase to present and to also to get people to mentor them to fine tune certain elements of the administrative work lah. And the hopeful thing to answer your question is the people. Like it goes back to the unique individuals of people who come and contribute to grassroots football, be it playing on the field or participating off the field.
Yeah, it goes back to how sports can bring us together. I mean, let me borrow a quote from Robin Williams when in Dead Poets Society. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. And I believe that the same can be said about sports and football in particular. I mean, again, look how sports bring us together whenever we make it to a big final and whatnot. So my hope is that once the structure is much more concrete, much more stable, we hope that more people take notice and at least get involved and or at the very least take notice of the work that we're all doing.
Okay, now I'll ask you guys the tough questions lah. Something related to Malaysian football.
Here we go.
This is the part that I'm really excited about, asking both Carl and Azri. I mean, Azri just now mentioned it quite well with regards to grassroots football, the tree and so on. The result yesterday, do you think it's because we have not nurtured the roots very well?
I'll leave this to Azri. I haven't watched professional football in a very long time. That's a disclaimer.
Azri, the floor is yours.
I mean, based on what we saw, I definitely can't rule that out. I mean, without President Piala Bilia for 2 years, that's one of the factors. I mean, like 2020, I can understand, but 2021, we got the Super League and the Premier League still playing and whatnot. And it's like, why, if we're going to carry on with that, why do we have to cancel the President Piala Bilia? And now hopefully that those competitions are back, but then there's 2 years lost already. And and of course the way we played against Laos was not. What's the worst part of that defeat was? Those two defeats was not only we lost to them, they actually beat us convincingly. Because we had not troubled the Laos keeper enough already, and at the very least we should be going to the semi-finals, and especially when our fierce rivals Indonesia and Myanmar, of course, we drew. So it actually makes it worse. It actually kind of makes the elimination worse. I mean, like, I know it's like the AFF level, and my expectations were low, but can at least. But I mean, like, I was like looking back. I was like, how? I mean, I can't rule out that the roots were not nurtured thoroughly enough, to be honest with you. So that's why the grassroots level is just so important. Trying to introduce more players into the sport more, and of course, and they can pursue like a career into it and whatnot. Yeah. So just to expand, so grassroots actually plays a huge pivotal role in not only improving young players' ability, but also to widen that talent pool and whatnot.
Okay, even with the return of President Cup and Billiard Cup, I was told that each team would, if they were to qualify up to the final, these teams would only play 15 games. 15 games. Do you think that is enough?
Like I say, it's only the cancellation of Piala Bilia was just one of the factors. So when you say it was only 15 games, I don't think that's enough, man.
Why do you think the problem is happening? I mean, just want to get your thoughts. Like, I mean, we are not in FAs, we don't know what's happening and so on. But why do you think there is this hesitance in terms of grassroots football? Looking at, some have, like, for example, today, Pereira say that they're not going to send their President Cup team and Belia Cup team. Kelantan is not sending Belia Cup. Why do you think this is still happening? And I would like to ask Carl that also, because you guys are part of the ecosystem. You have seen what's happening around you. Maybe you can share your thoughts on that.
I just had this sense that they don't understand the importance of how these youth competitions, the role they play in order to improve these players. And not only that, also, I mean, like I did say that the intention towards grassroots football is not enough. I also want to follow that up because it's just not place. They just don't know the importance. If anything, the league football, especially in Europe, should be grateful that grassroots football exists. Like these people on the floor, down on the ground, have their rules to keep the grassroots car, keep driving them. And because without them, the talent pool dries up. Then the standards drop, the league standards drop, and whatnot. And I think that's what we're seeing here. I mean, when it comes to how do we improve from there? I mean, like I'm very well aware that FAS is actually doing something, trying to do with the introduction of Song of Champions League, Women's Super League, whatnot, try to widen that move pool. But FAS cannot do it alone. We need every state in Malaysia to do their role. Not just, the clubs can just focus on club level. I'm talking about FAs. I mean, even England has their own county FA, like London FA, Birmingham FA, because they're not specifically overlooking the club. They're overlooking the football activities in their area. That's what FAS is trying to do, trying to give this platform to players, coaches, referees, etc., whatnot. Just give these opportunities to them, and also show what they can do. So it just comes back to they just don't see the importance. Once they see the importance, hopefully they understand that not only helps guarantee the future of our football, but also not only guarantees the future of our football, but also I already forgot what I'm going to say. But just guarantee the future of our own football lah.
I mean, hearing what you... sorry, I forgot about Carl. Yes, Carl, go ahead.
Just to sum it up from what I just said, I think we just lack power. We lack that administrative talents. We lack administrators that can empower people who are on the ground to do and continue grassroots football as best as they can, because there are administrative talents who can do things like Selangor Champions League level competition. It's just that they're not being recognized by the big guns on top, because this is just my reading of the room and also my intelligence telling me that kalau kita invest kat grassroots football ni, ROI bila boleh dapat? When I'm getting my return on investment. So that's usually the problem. They look at the ROI, which is fair. I mean, I see it. It's fair. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fair. But you can actually even dive even deeper how to get those ROI balik while you have that synergy with the communities, with the parents, with the schools, and so on and so forth. You can have.
I also want to. Oh yeah, now I remember what I want to say. I also think that they also higher ups also don't understand that this takes time. This takes time. We go back to the tree analogy. Like the tree is not going to grow overnight and whatnot. So we have to wait. We have to wait and keep nurturing them until it grows that harvest that we need. And then we can build. And then once that tree grows, we can plant more and more trees and whatnot. Right? So you get what I'm saying? We need to keep continuing planting.
Okay.
Planting
Ezra, I'm so sorry to cut you, but Selangor Champions League prize money is, if I'm not mistaken, it's 15,000 ringgit. 15 for the grand prize. Grand prize is 15,000 ringgit.
I think yeah.
Ever since the second edition of Selangor Champions League, none of the participating teams tanya pasal prize money, because they want to be in the competition because of the pride of it. So communities, be it in Kelantan ke, Sabah ke, Perlis, semua tu has to get together, create a roadmap and create a prideful competition, because even if for Selangor, about 60 plus, about 40 plus teams went to the playoff.
Yeah.
For the recent Selangor Champions League ni. So
I think around 19 teams in the playoffs.
but pre-pandemic is about 40
Oh
plus, right?
yeah. Pre-pandemic is I mean,
Pre-pandemic about 40 plus. So so if people from the people have pride, or people on the ground has pride in the competition semua tu, that's how things will grow. It's just that orang kat atas is the one not empowering the people dekat grassroots.
And speaking of pride, it also brings that sense of togetherness in the within the community as well, in their own community, and so now, and once you grow that community, then you have something special, and then you have that basis to grow even further.
I know Carl has met the officials in the Youth and Sports Ministry of a meeting and so on during the pandemic period. I just want to ask you, what's their understanding of the sports scene in Malaysia? Like, do they know it's an industry? Do they know that it should be done in this manner? If you plant something, you don't expect instant results, that kind of a thing. It's not like a cactus, cactus, you don't need a water plant, it just stays stagnant there. But then, grassroots football, when you plant something, you have to constantly nurture it and so on. Do they understand that concept?
I'll leave that to Carl, yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. Okay. So the two meetings that we had with a representative from Kepala Batas, which was Reza American. So the discussion on those points is actually to reopen football back. So there wasn't really much of an intensive discussion about grassroots football and so on and so forth. But through their branches of Visi Sukan Negara, that's when we have the engagement lah of like, hey, you guys actually have focus apa semua tu on grassroots football, grassroots sports in general semua. And around that time too, it was the canvassing period lah. And now we don't even know what's the status of Visi Sukan Negara 2030. So it was a nice idea, but again, politics is fluid, especially with what's happening. We don't want to go there. So we don't want to go there. But just to share something with everyone, actually. So recently, a youth political party announced their excos. On that weekend, when they announced their excos, I've actually received a total of 11 calls and messages. And all these 11 people, most of them has political background. They're from the right wing, the left wing, the center, the far right, the far left, and so on and so forth. So they asked me a very interesting question, and I do not know whether they planned it or whatever to disturb me on that weekend. And these people are from the grassroots now, so all over Malaysia. And they asked me a very interesting question. Carl, parti politik mana yang ada exco sukan? Kebanyakan parti politik ada exco pendidikan, ada exco budaya, ada exco kesihatan, like a shadow cabinet semua whatever lah kan. Yeah. Tapi exco mana yang ada exco parti politik mana yang ada exco sukan? Parti mana yang ada yang letak sukan dalam manifesto untuk masuk pilihan raya? And I was like, my answer to them, all 11 of them, was very simple. Soalan jujur, saya tak ada jawapan, tapi soalan tu adalah soalan yang paling jujur. Nak saya tanya ke? Boleh je tweet, tapi orang nak balas ketak balik kat kita. Rasa orang dengar busy dengan election kat Johor. So those are the questions that we need to start asking the people who want to run this country.
Yeah, we also use Vital. We have a platform to ask those questions. Like the UK, they have like this Prime Minister's question time. They keep asking the Prime Minister questions on what's going on in UK. So those are the examples. As example.
But again, to answer Alvin's question, again, Rizal's time was very brief. In a way, it was very brief. So to really wanted to have that conversation, the dialogue about grassroots sports, apa semua tu. But again, the political situation, the pandemic, apa semua tu, it was so depressing and anxious. Yeah. So I really wish that in the future, whoever is becoming the next sports minister, I hope that he or she has macam is the one that after they finish the election, the coalition menang. It's like I really want that one politician to kata, aku nak sukan. Not alah aku dapat sukan. You know, I want. We all want that. We all that one guy ada vested interest in sukan ni macam like YB apa dia the leader of the party. I nak sukan. I want that guy or girl. You know?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they do a good job, and it's fine by me.
No, but is it time that maybe we divide that youth and sport kind of thing? Because okay, you have youth and you have sports, which is okay. I guess they make sense together lah. But when you're talking about say that okay, aku nak sukan, it will usually go to someone who's very young. And as you've spoken about earlier, sports is not exclusively the world of the young.
Correct.
Yes.
It needs to be the world of the competent, the person who's good in organization, the one who's really passionate about it. So, but if you have an elder politician in charge of youth and sports, you get the brickbats on Twitter. Apa ni dah tua gila, So I mean, do you think it's time maybe you separate the two and one sports, one youth, or something like that?
Depending who's the government of the day, actually.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Exactly.
Like for me, my ideal ministerial post for sports is actually to incorporate culture sekali.
Betul.
Yeah.
Culture, broadcasting, apa semua. I mean, like the UK news system, because that is even more apa panggil? There's a lot of connective tissue.
Yeah. I mean,
because you got sports, culture, tourism, apa semua tu kan. So that's if in the ideal Carl's Malaysia lah, but we don't know the reality of these guys who are being elected lah.
Okay, now coming back to Malaysian football lah.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
we are out of the AFF under 23 championship lah, and I sincerely hope there is no post-mortem or whatsoever, because it's pointless to have a post-mortem. We already saw what happened in front of us, and we know why that has happened also lah. But I have this one suggestion. I just want to get thoughts on it lah. In Malaysia, we still have this perception where players who are under 25, they're considered young. Do we need to change that thought? Like, players who are under 21, they are considered prospects. They are considered youngsters. They should be playing in under 23 tournaments. I know AFF and AFC, they still have that under 22 concept. In Europe, they have under 21. So do you think that has to change, that mindset has to change, especially in Malaysian football right now? Because I know clubs, the coaches, I've signed a 25-year-old hot prospect. I'm like, what? You have that kind of thing. So what do you have to say about that?
Firstly, that label has to change. That label has, obviously, and secondly, maybe what we can do is like introduce like an under 23, under 21 quota, similar to how the K-League, the Korean League does it. But what the K-League does differently is that you must start an under 21, under 23 player on. If you don't, you only have less substitutes. But unfortunately the coaches found a loophole there by as soon as they start, like after 10 minutes they sub them off.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like when I first found that out, it was kind of infuriating. I mean, like you give these young players a start, and it's like, well, then you only start them because you want to have more options on the bench. I was like, no, that's gonna be like detrimental to how they see the game, whatnot. So I would say, so that obviously that rule either they have to scrap it or amend it. And what the SCL does is that you must have an correct me if I'm wrong, they must have an under 21, under 23 player at all times. Doesn't matter who.
Correct. So in the rule book of the Selangor Champions League, because there was a emphasis after the 2016 Selangor Champions League about youth development. So what they've included from 2017 onwards, if I recall, I think FS can correct me if I'm wrong. You gotta have an under 21 player on the field at all times.
Yeah, under 21, yeah.
Under 21 player on the field at all times. Kalau player to be substitution, that player has to be substituted by another 21 player as well. If not, ada denda ke 3 points or whatever lah, walk over and so on and so forth. Because
or if you have like 2 under 21 players on the pitch, you can at least sub one of them off at least. As long as one player is on that pitch at all times.
Correct. The emphasis is because they got the feedback from 2016, the coaches, the managers, apa semua tu. During the postmortem, they wanted, what's our role in terms of youth development? So those are the rules that they implemented. And it was agreed on by the affiliates and the people who participated in the competition lah. So maybe those are kind of things that I think one thing that proactively what Selangor Champions League has done, they actually listen to the people who are the teams who are participating. So that's also one of the things that our authorities should be doing juga lah, in a way.
Okay, one final question for me before I pass this to Logan. His favorite segment lah. I mean, do you think the work is cut out for Kim Pangon after watching the young boys and also seeing with the league about to start? And also, I want to ask this question to both of you all. What's the ideal future for Malaysian football? What do you want to see happening?
Okay, let's start with Kim Pan first. I definitely think he does have his work cut out for them. I mean, like if he wants to like be here for a long time, and given what we've seen from the under 23 players, I was like, oh, good luck, man.
I mean, we shouldn't be laughing. It's quite sad, but that's the reality. Yeah,
that's the reality. That's how dire it is. Of course. Of course, I want to keep my expectations minimal because this is his first time being here, and also a big job at trying to get us out of the doldrums. But I think that it's gonna take a while, So we're gonna have to exercise some patience at least. Of course, I didn't see his actual press conference. I had to rely on Kin Fai's Twitter space. Avinash, I think you were there as well. He's saying all the right things, but whether or not he'll back it up, that's a different story. And as to what I want to see for our Malaysian football game, I want to see like for starters, I definitely want to see us qualify for an international tournament. That one's obvious. I think that's what everyone wants to see. Personally, I want to go deeper. I want to see like a league structure that's similar to England's and Japan's. I want to see that not just Division 1, Division 2, like Division 3, the semi-pro, the amateur league, whatnot. Let's focus on Japan first, at least because of the proximity. It took them I think they established the J League in 1992. It took them at least 20 plus years to get to where they are now, and I think they have like 8 different levels, and I think at least the bottom 2 or 3 of them had like different, was separated to regions and prefectures and whatnot. I think we can provide that structure, provided that we have that will to do it. But of course, that's going to take time, lah. Of course, I think that with the fast growing pace of the game, I think it's going to take a while, lah.
Yeah, that's my worry as well, because it's growing all the time, and yet we kind of take like very slow steps towards it. Because I even asked Hamidin about it when he told me about that he is going to bring a data team and all that. I asked him this question: don't you think it's too late? It should have been done like long time ago. He said yes, but that's the reality we are facing right now. Because when other teams have already done it, then we are following it. We're not. We don't seem to be like a revolutionizer. Yeah. It's quite sad, lah.
Yeah, and also another thing I want to see is I want to see clubs be more creative with their sources of income. For example, in Japan, the J League 2 side Machida Zavia, they actually run their own Zumba sessions for women. Not only got a source of income from organizing Zumba lessons, but I might also get more female friends towards the game as well, towards the club. So Machida Zavia. So that's one thing. Japanese club has like different creative ways. I think J3 team Katade Toyama, they also have a dance club for goodness sake. Just like something akin to cheerleaders and whatnot. Provide more activities. Try to be more creative with the source of income. I think Kete FC has put their logo on a few food items. I think feel correct me if I'm wrong, but so that's another thing I was hoping. Get more creative. Trying to find that source of income.
Carl?
With regards to Kim Pangun, I've seen my admin forward me siapa? This new Instagram account, shoot punya Instagram punya account, the football app kan, and they're interestingly good. They have the audio punya dialogue semua tu. Kim Pangun saying the right things lah, but whether it translates it's all remains to be seen lah. So we'll see what happens in the friendlies and through his first year lah, whether he can continue the mandate ke tak. Yeah, saying the right things lah. He is saying the right things. But in terms of, to answer your later question, which is what's happening in Malaysian football, what do I want to see during my lifetime, kan? One point, again, football unites. I just want to solve problems through football.
Nice.
Not only sports, not only football, but sports. I want to solve problems through sports. From education to health to racism to sexism, everything. I want to solve. How can we solve social problems, economical problems, educational problems, health problems through sports? It's possible. The North American ecosystem has solved a lot of problems, a lot of problems from the grassroots through sports. So why can't Malaysia do that?
Yeah, I mean, even the college level for college level football, basketball is just as big as their, just as big as their main leagues. So so that's what I was hoping. That's what I hope to see. I mean, Japan has like also a high school tournament that's attended, where the final was attended by thousands as well. So,
I saw that as well.
Yeah, so that's what I was hoping. That's another thing I'm hoping to see, that if we have the right resources, the right will to grow the sports and whatnot, we get to see a similar ecosystem as those two countries. But again, it takes time.
I agree. It takes time, and it takes a lineup of people to work together and also to achieve a common vision, a common goal. Common goal. So itulah macam, again, very simply solving problems through football. That's my mission in my lifetime for Malaysian football.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So the thing is, we've learned a bit about your organization. We've learned a bit about your stand on Malaysian football. Now we're going to learn a bit about you guys, lah.
All right.
But we're doing so. We're learning about you through football. Just to piggyback on what Carl said, lah. Okay, it's time for the rapid fire questions round. Any guest who's been on here will have to go through this, lah. Okay, so the rules of the game is simple. For the first time since we have two guests, I am going to choose Azri go first, okay, to answer the question, and then followed by Carl. Okay, and another kind of rule is you can't have the same answer unless you do. I mean, the likelihood that you do is very low, lah. But mana tahu, kan? Okay. So, all right. First question, very simple one. Your favorite player of all time?
You will not believe who my favorite player of all time is. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
You didn't say manager. You didn't say manager. So fine.
Here's the thing. Let me explain my stance on Solskjaer. I mean, I grew up watching him. I mean, like, when I grew up watching him came off the bench, it's like he can. It's like I just rarely see him miss a shot and whatnot. So that's what made me go to like him, as a player. So when I first heard that when he was manager, when he became manager of Manchester United, I was excited. But at the same time, we came off from a disastrous run under Mourinho. I had to be cautious as well. So so for me, when his reign ended the way it did, I felt that it has to be done. But at the same time, I can't help but feel sad about it.
If United ever make the Champions League final, we do a watch along with you here, lah. So so that won't happen anytime soon. Okay, Carl, yes, your turn.
Okay, I would like to answer this question with a song. Avish will appreciate this. Okay, he's there, he's here, he's there, he's flipping everywhere. Roy can't. So whoever watches Ted Lasso is a fictional character, Roy Kent, but on a serious note, Miroslav Klose.
Oh wow, interesting choice. But he's a good striker, amazing striker.
Why Klose?
Grew up as a Germany fan. I had quite a bit of German fans as well. So I kind of grew up loving the culture juga lah. And Miroslav Klose is just totally macam, I think it's the last number 9 sort of striker that we've seen. I think after that could have been Eduardo de Silva ish. So I kind of like those traditional number 9s, players like, and he just works hard for the team, and he's just He's like Roy Ken, like he's here, he's there, he's flipping everywhere.
Right.
Closer.
So but Giroud is not a good number 9 for you because we've got a big Giroud fan here.
Yeah, we've got a big Giroud
Guess
fan.
who lah?
He calls him the best number 9 in the world. Someone who can holds the ball so well. He hits Martial.
Wow.
Giroud used
No
to be
comment
called
on that one.
magnificent striker, gorgeous striker. But
What do you have to say to that?
It's very crucial for French when they. I mean, it's one of the best number 9 for French. If you ask me now, because he actually create a lot of chances for the wingers to actually score. If you see, if you see for the French team, when it comes to the game, most of the goal scoring opportunity came from the wing. It's because of Giroud. Now I think they have a problem with that. And then they choose Martial, so I don't know what to say now.
They're Benzema, Mbappe, what now?
Yeah, but they keep on bringing Martial, so
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. I mean, sure. Okay. So, Azri, the next one, the most underrated player of all time for you.
Okay, I have to go back to United. From United standpoint, I actually have like 3 players in mind. One is John O'Shea. Because that man can play anywhere where it comes to midfield or the defense. He can be left back, centre back, midfield. I mean, he even nutmegged Luis Figo once.
Yeah, and he also chipped Jens Lehmann. Was it Lehmann?
Yeah,
you have to bring the Arsenal reference.
Hello, wait.
Yeah,
that was his best goal. That's
his best goal. And another player I appreciate underrated is Park Ji-sung. Yes. Because I think because that man just never tires. I mean, that's the reason why it's called Three Lungs Park, his nickname. Yes. I think that in today's pressing game, I think he would have benefited from the because he just never tires at all. And last player I would say consider underrated is Carrick, because he was he's not talked about enough in my opinion. I mean, like he's that calm commanding presence around the midfield, can like pick up decent passes that maybe people doesn't see. So those are 3 players I think were just not talked about enough when it comes to United.
I love that. Carrick is my favorite player of all time. Seriously.
Again, really? Not talked about enough.
Yeah. Okay, Carl.
World Cup winner, 3 times FA Cup winner per Mertesacker.
I think that's more question than the
That's a good choice, man.
Again, all these players, I don't really. Yeah, okay. You look them on the pitch, they score goals, they defended well, apa semua tu. But I will also look the things that they have contributed off the pitch. So Mertesacker for me, when you look at his off the pitch bekerja, the things that he has done with mental health, the Robert Anker Foundation.
Oh yes.
Those are the kind of things I really admire about the guy. Now he's the Arsenal manager. He did Arsenal academy manager. So the things that he noted that macam not all players who go to the youth system become professional footballers. So they have to equip all the players with good education, with good skills, in order if you don't make it as a footballer, you can make it in life as a different profession, be a mechanic, a comedian, or a doctor, or so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So most underrated,
It's a very, very good answer.
I like that choice actually. I was quite disappointed that Arsenal signed him quite late. I thought they should have signed him earlier.
Correct.
But then he was a good player for us, lah. Seriously, I mean, he looked languid, but you know what? He did the job, lah.
He has the footballing brains. That's the thing.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you don't win a World Cup for nothing, right? Seriously. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna break the rules because this is my segment. So I'm gonna change it around. So Carl goes first.
Okay.
One Malaysian player that you would like to see in the Premier League, in the English Premier League.
Siapa lagi? Fakir Sarani lah. I'm serious or not, up to you guys. But
do we need an explanation?
But why him?
Why him? You gotta ask me and Nizam lah. We have to have Nizam on the show sekali lah. but on another,
he was a talented striker. Just that kalau tak masuk apa boleh nak buat?
It wasn't for his cross. His cross towards Sharol during the SEA Games. Malaysia, the semi-final of the SEA Games, Malaysian football history could have changed. It wasn't for that cross. It
Lord
wasn't for
Fakri.
that cross. There to Fakri. But on another note, I think another player that I would really love to see in his prime in the Premier League is actually Mahali.
Yes.
We produce
yeah.
really good fullbacks. You know, so Mahali is one of them that I really would love to see.
During
I mean,
his
like-
time, yes, he was sensational. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
like he also reminds you of John O'Shea. I mean, he can play fullback, can be either fullbacks. I think he also can do centrally as well.
Now he's playing as a striker.
Ah, look
There
at
you
that.
go. Versatility, man.
Yeah, Burnley could use him.
Good answer.
Your heart out, John O'Shea. Right, never mind.
Yeah. So Azri, you have a lot to live up to with that answer, man.
Oh man. I can tell you right now, be prepared to be disappointed. So yeah, so I have like two players in mind, two Malaysian players I want to see play in the Premier League. One is Brendan Gunn. I think he has that mentality, that professionalism to make it in the Premier League. I think, yeah. So yeah, those are my simple answers. The other one is a youth player, because I think that with the right mentality, with the honing his skills, I think he has what it takes to be like a region beater lah. Region beater, like Arif Aiman.
Good choices, man. Why should
Yeah.
we be disappointed?
There's no.
Yeah, nothing to be disappointed. Those are
No,
damn
yeah.
good choices.
Okay, then good choices, yes. But when it comes to explaining them, not as eloquent as Carl. So
He said it succinctly quite well. Don't worry.
Okay, so for the next question, we're gonna reverse it around.
All right.
Who is the player from the Premier League who you'd like to see in Malaysia? And
Some
Robert
reason-
Pires doesn't count. Sorry.
For some
Hey,
reason, in his
Don't beat that up.
current Premier League punya lineup, because you want to promote Malaysia as a destination to come apa semua tu kan, you're looking at the off the pitch economics ni benda. For some reason, this player just came up to my mind, Declan Rice, for some reason, because I think the marketing can be superb. Nasi
Nasi,
sampai.
yeah.
The marketing
yeah.
for headline is going to be
Very
brilliant.
good.
it took me a while to register that.
Declan
Oh
Rice.
my
the thing is, imagine he plays for Penang. Nasi panas. Kelantan lagi butter, nasi kerabu, dan Terengganu nasi dagang, you know.
Hey, there you go. It goes back to what I said. Be creative, your sources of income.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So that means him and Ben Me lah. Why not?
Yes.
Nice.
Ben me goreng. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, Azri, up to you now.
No, okay. Now here's the thing. This is the question that got me the most, because I want to be like, when it comes to this answer, I want to be a bit more realistic as possible. It's like, who would be from the Premier League would fare well in Malaysia, but also get that general buzz. I was like, oh man. I mean like, oh man. I think I just had one player in mind, but it's not more towards his. I think it's not more towards football ability, but it will at least be talked about. Do you know who? Maguire.
Oh.
At least it will be talked about among us. It's like that's like I just went my first answer in my head, because this question really got me stumped, because there are a lot of players to choose from, but I was like thinking, who would be the person, and because only just now I was thinking, who would be the one player that will get people talking at the very least. I was thinking, oh man, let's go for it lah, Harry Maguire.
I'm just trying to think. Okay, he's already slow. He already runs like he's running through mud. So I mean, with some of our pitches here, okay lah, boleh lah.
No, he might struggle further, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least he'll win the headers lah, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe.
I mean, like since he play long ball and whatnot, at least will be his strength and whatnot. So
Harry Maguire, the striker, why not, right? I mean, yeah. Okay.
or can defend those long balls with his header. There you go.
Eat your heart out, Ifdayo.
Okay, Carl, who's the best coach / manager / gaffer in Malaysian football now?
No doubt, Coach Rajagopal. No doubt.
Yeah,
doubt.
I agree.
Okay, all right. Why? Both of you can answer.
Actually, go ahead first.
He made us believe again. There you go. He made us believe again. He made sure what's the weight of wearing that Malaysian shirt. Malaysian shirt holds. What does it mean? What does it mean? And yeah, so he can instill that spirit within that team when given the time.
Okay, all right.
But if you ask me who is the current manager in Malaysian football right now, I would say I'm actually an admirer of Aidil Sharin. You know, I think the work he has done with Kedah, compared to other teams with resources like JT and so on, he has done very well. I mean, consistent top 2 finishes, consistent AFC Cup qualifications. So yeah, so when we heard that, so hopefully that we finally get to see Kedah in action in AFC Cup this season.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So, Azri, since you're wearing a jersey, yeah, it is right. So I'm gonna ask you this question first. Your favorite football jersey of all time?
Only one answer for that, man. The 2010 Suzuki Cup away kit, man. Malaysia with the blue, the red one. I mean,
Nice.
like that is the most memorable jersey, that I can remember from the top of my head, and of course that in turn has become my favorite
Okay.
for obvious reasons.
Yes.
Yes, obviously.
So Carl's deep in thought.
I also want to shout out to Ulsan Hyundai's current season kit. I thought that blue and gold they don is quite clean. It's a shame that their first match of the season wasn't as clean as their jersey. So
They could be facing Johor, by the way, in the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Mm.
Hopefully they get past Port FC of Thailand.
But looks like they can, because Port FC is going through a really rough patch of form.
Oh, I heard they also sacked their manager.
Yeah, they sacked the coach. I think they're going to get Dusit Chalamsan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, like Ulsan also has their fair share of problems. I mean, we only have one recognized striker, and that's I believe that I forgot who. I think it was Park Chu Young. Remember him?
Oh yes, obviously.
Yeah, I mean like when you return to Seoul,
Legendary striker,
comments.
one of the Champions League.
I mean, like when we returned to Seoul, it was some buzz, but then he didn't score much. So Ulsan, we only have him as a recognized striker. So yeah, so they're gonna be a bit problematic scoring goals this season compared to the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, to rely on a 37-year-old is going to be tough, lah.
Yeah. All right, back to Carl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Favorite Malaysian jersey, obviously the 2010 year home jersey for me. Favorite international jersey, home is the 2006 Germany home jersey. And for the away is the 2014 Germany away, the black maroon.
Oh, okay, that kid. Yes.
Yeah, that kit. Love that kit. In terms of club, home obviously Arsenal, the Highbury season, the end of Highbury season. In terms of away, surprisingly, Bayern Munich had a really good jersey in the mid mid to 2010s. I forgot which season, but ada a really good Bayern Munich jersey around that time. Yeah, so those are the jerseys.
I mean, Germany's had some pretty good jerseys, especially.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, last year when when England beat them. Sorry, I mean.
I mean, they're fishing coaching players, jerseys. When it comes to football, what cannot Germany do?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
All right, we're gonna kind of move it back to grassroots just to kind of wrap up. So the final 2 questions are about grassroots, all right?
Okay.
So if you had $1 million, you had $1 million, actually dollars lah, so we can get more money.
For
You had almost 5 million ringgit to spend on grassroots football. What would you do? What would you do to improve it? Yeah, Azri, you can go ahead.
Okay. So, firstly, I will establish a grassroots network and whatnot, and try to establish a network across the countries when it comes to like players, coaching, scouts, and whatnot. Yeah, so and of course organize programs and workshops on how to invite club officials, the grassroots club officials, to understand the work game better lah, at least.
Mm.
So that's why I put that, trying to build that network first.
Okay, Carl?
Okay, so in terms of monetary kan, kalau dapat duit semua tu, I want to find ways to make that, to multiply that money, because I don't want to think like macam football association kan, setiap tahun dapat budget kan. We need to have that 1 million USD. How do we make it into 4 million by next year? Or apa semua tu. So one of the ways is to have good administrators in terms of organizer, to organize all the grassroots leagues apa semua tu, programs and so on and so forth. We need a proper marketing arm to market and have a consistent data and sales and apa semua tu. Another arm, so the first arm was organizing the competition. The second arm is to organize the marketing efforts. The third arm is to organize the administrative effort. Tapi dalam marketing, obviously you have your social media, your digital marketing, your on-site marketing. The third one is administrative benda, meaning you have to meet all the policy makers, you have to make sure that everyone is organized correctly. HR department, make sure that everyone is ada harmony dalam office. Because one thing I've realized, living 30 years on this planet, is that if you do not have a harmonious office, you cannot do anything. You cannot gerakkan kerja. So you have to have a harmony team lah in order to move forward lah. So what I will do with the money is all that lah, to make sure that people punya social well-being who's working for grassroots football is taken care of first and foremost. Then we learn how to grow the pot bigger, how to get more people to be involved in the programs, how do we make money even further lah. Because again, we cannot have that mentality that we've been having in Malaysian football for the last 30 or so years, relying on the state government. No.
Yeah.
So we have to generate. How do we generate? Problem solving.
Again, goes back to creative source of income.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So the final question for rapid fire, and I think indeed for this show lah. Okay, if you could choose a celebrity ambassador to be the face of grassroots football to promote your movement, who would it be? And it can be international, it can be Malaysian. I mean, it has to be Malaysian, right?
Has to be Malaysian lah.
Yeah. So
has to be Malaysian.
Yeah. So who would that celebrity ambassador be?
Want me to go first now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was actually thinking about this question. I was thinking, again, this goes back to how I answered the which Premier League player what see Malaysia. I was like, who would actually get people talk? Who actually get that buzz towards the grassroots football? Which celebrity ambassador? I was thinking, oh my god, should I actually go for this answer or not? All right, so I was like, what the heck? Let's go for it. Okay, he's Malaysian. He's based overseas. And he hates Jamie Oliver.
Hiya, that guy is it?
I mean, like, okay, hear me out. The reason, Nigel Neng, and hear me out. I think that he's a comedian, but the way his Uncle Roger persona approaches the food-based video, it seems like he's done his research. When I look at the YouTube comments, he's done his research and whatnot. So if we can invite him to take a look, at least understand the problems of the grassroots football facing and whatnot, and maybe who knows, maybe try insult to the administrators and just for entertainment value. It might at least get a lot of eyes on the grassroots football lah, and the grassroots football movement. Of course, whether it sticks after that, that's a different story lah. But at least it will get people talking, get attention lah. I mean, and this is an idea I have in mind, Carl. But maybe that we can invite him for a recreational football session lah. But of course, this Recreational Football is meant to be fun, so I asked his Uncle Roger to tone down his Uncle Roger persona a little bit. You know how he likes to hurl insults and whatnot, especially Jimmy Oliver. Yeah lah. So of course, but of course.
When you play football, you know tackle lah.
At the same time, I tell the players, go ahead and insult Uncle Roger as well. So yeah, so
Right.
it goes both ways, man.
Okay, interesting choice.
Yeah.
I really have two names. Actually three. Number one, I think Idil Putra is a very interesting candidate because he's a KL fan. I would consider him as a celebrity. He's an actor, very prominent, and also an activist. But I think if I were to have like memang face on men's grassroots football, it would be Bron Priley. Bron Priley is a choice. He's a football fan. And so on and so forth. For women's grassroots, Sharifah Mani. Reason B, again, both of them are from the arts and sports actually, and they're not too dissimilar from each other. They can intertwine, and I think if given an opportunity to sit down with both of them, all three of them, to talk about how can we sports and arts being together, like what Ted Lasso in one of those episodes Avinash. So I think those two will be really good ambassadors because they are activists, and I think it goes back to what I said early on. If what I want to see in my life fulfilled during Malaysian football is solving problems through sports, through football, through sports, and I think they can be great vanguards to showcase that.
Right. I mean,
One final question.
Yes,
question. We know the Charity Shield is this weekend, so quick answers. Who is going to win? Your prediction. Scoreline prediction.
Kalau penalty shootout, I would say KL. Kalau on straight game semua tu, I think JDT would get the 1-0 lah.
For me,
something like that, yeah. Continue.
For me, I'll be honest. Given how Hodak has done very well at KL, and given how he's done against JDT, I would say I will not be surprised if it's a draw. I would say 1-1. At the same time, while Hodak has done tremendously well with KL, but at the same time, I think Mora will have thought about how do we improve from that Malaysia Cup final. So I think it will be a draw, maybe a squad draw, 1-1 for me. And for penalties, again, I'll predict we'll go with penalties, but I think this isn't me saying this because I'm Selangor fan, given how Selangor and KL would like to be at each other's throats. But I think JDT might edge it. Okay.
Actually, you don't prefer like a 4-4 draw, 5 red because
I don't know, man. I don't think KL has scored that many goals in one game though. So that's the thing. I know JDT
sorry, just a quick Ars Block joke lah. Avinash, I don't know whether you heard one of the Ars Block in the podcast consistently whenever they talk about Manchester United versus Spurs, kind of like, well, I think the score prediction is going to be like 4-4, 5 red cards on both sides. So that kind of reminded me on that lah.
If McTominay is playing, then very likely lah. So yeah.
Harry Kane and McTominay.
Why not? So again, Sharifah Mani, Bront, if you're watching, you know what you have to do lah. Okay. Yeah.
So Sharifah Mani actually follows PBS apparently. So
okay.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, the next show lah. Why not? All right. So if only. All right. So I mean, guys, we have to thank you so much. You've devoted 90 full minutes to this. We really, really appreciate all the time.
No problem. It's just like a football game, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. 2 minutes. 1:33 right now.
Yeah, exactly. So when stoppage
time. Yeah, stoppage time.
Exactly. So before we blow the final whistle, just want to remind everyone, please follow us on Twitter, FB, IG, YouTube. Please follow Padang Bola Sepak as well. I mean, these guys are real heroes, and we are so proud and excited to have them on the show. Maybe we'll have them again.
They're good people. Trust me on this one.
Yes, yes.
Who knows? One day we'll join for one session.
Hey,
Since it's for everyone.
Yeah,
Benny is a pro, huh?
I'm only playing if Benny is not playing because
Dah, before the game, kita lat tadi siapa team mana dulu.
All right, guys. Okay, thank you as well so much to the audience. Those of you who are still with us, have a good night. Stay safe and take care, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for him.
Thank
Thank you guys.
you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yes.